We are here with legendary wide receiver, my guy, the GOAT himself. You got to show some love here to the man, the myth, the legend, Herman Moore. What's going on, man?
Hey, it's all good. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, just ready to talk some Detroit Lions. Before we get into the Lions, though, you were showing me the blankets that you got. That stuff is absolutely lit and fire. Can you show that off and talk about it a little bit?
Oh yeah. First, I'm gonna tell people we've gotten a lot of love on some of the stuff we released with this new thing I got called Herman Low. But it's all fun. It's not about you got to be this loyal Lion fan that can't talk about the Packers, the Vikings, the Cowboys, and all that. It's just really something that's more of a collectible piece that talks about our journey, our friendship, and just making fun. If anyone knows us, we like to have fun. We like doing silly stuff, even at our older age. But it just takes us through everything we've done. The fact that we've enjoyed Lion fans, we've enjoyed fans throughout the NFL, but none more obviously more sincere than the ones that we have right here at home. But so Herman Low is really cool. We loaded, just so people understand, it's really about the artwork. And we just applied it because we're in the cold part of the year. We put it on blankets. And we thought that'd be a really cool limited edition idea so people could have access to the Sherpa blankets, the fleece blankets, and stuff like that for the holiday. They make great holiday gifts. So if you order them, you get a nice little cool bag. This is a nice leather patch that's part of it, depending on when you order. We do that for some of our exclusive club members. But then when you pull it out, check that out. Bam. Nice and neatly folded. I'll pull this out for you so you can kind of get the love for it. How about that right there, Mike?
Yeah, that's awesome. Bam. That's awesome. Got to get me one of those. Get me one of
those. So what's cool about that, right? And this is going to go over my face, everyone. So disregard me. You hear me talking from behind a blanket so you can see it. But see that? That's my boy, Lo and I, looking like the Gridiron Kings that we are, like that. I got my boy King on here, the Lion. Bam, there he is. And then we overlooking everything. Now I'm gonna give you a little bit here. Check this out. And now let everybody go back to what we're talking. In here, there are little Easter eggs. Don't know if you can see those.
Oh yeah.
But it shows all the 32 teams are inside of these. But these are really cool, man. See me chilling with it. Bam. Got my blanket. You know what I mean? Bam.
Hey, it's starting to get cold out. It's time to get warm.
These are soft and nice and warm too. But they make nice little gifts, man. But each one's fun. Get over here. Let's talk about Lions' upcoming game. Talk about what they're faced with. But no, show some love. HermanLow.com. You can check this out. You can buy it. You can check us out on our social streams, social channels also. And we're excited about it.
Yeah, and make sure you guys check out Herm's Twitter. He's posting a lot of stuff on there, and it's great. Real easy to find. Herman Moore. Just put in the name, and there's him on there. Before we talk about the games, I woke up a couple days ago, and I just seen you blasted everywhere. The local media, YouTubers. I was like, what went on here? You talked about Jameson WIlliams. And, what you said, it kind of went to many different people, and everybody kind of took it the way they wanted to hear it. Can you clarify what you talked about Jameson WIlliams and, your thoughts about him and his development and what he can do to get better?
Yeah, first I want to make sure everybody understands, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the coaches that are overseeing them right now. Coach Campbell, Coach Randall L., and in no way is that meant to say they're not doing what they should do or the things they should do right. I was asked the question, if I were working with him, what do I see that potentially could get him going or get him jump started? And also, what do I think about him and his development stages and those things? So very, very much on board with, the coaches will handle this how they handle it. They know what's best. But, if I'm looking at them, there's some things that I could align with based on my career early on. I came in as a first round draft pick too, 10th pick overall. I struggled for a different reason. It wasn't because of confidence. I don't think he's struggling because of confidence. But what I see is, what did it take for me to get out of wherever the area I was in? And that was, I was having a tough time catching passes. Yeah, I needed to get contact lenses. Yeah, I need to make sure I was taking care of myself properly and making, because I wear glasses and those things. But there was still an adjustment that had to take place. I had to touch the ball. I had to feel the ball. I had to be a part of making sure that I was embedded into the system. And my biggest confidence thing for me was the hitch route. It was slant routes. And then even though I was a big play receiver, I came out of college averaging, and I think it's still the NCAA record, 22 yards a catch. That's big play. That's making big plays down the field. But I had to dial it back. I was in a run and shoot. I had to adjust to the shorter passes. It wasn't about the big plays. And then when we got into the red zone, what I was big on is the fade route. They had to get that confidence. I mean, where I got it? I got it against the Dallas Cowboys. I was confident on in routes because I was a big target. I was confident on out routes. I was confident on slants and hitches and things of that nature. So they put those things in my hands and allowed me to touch the ball. And once I did that, the rest was history. We see that with even Amon-Ra St. Brown right now. He's getting double-digit attempts per game. And they're not all takeoffs, right? They're not all plays that are just kind of outside of his wheelhouse. They're short routes. They're crossing routes. They're underneath routes. But he's very much inside of the game. And also here's the other thing that's cool about it. Teams will have to game plan for him in a different way. It's different when a player is fast. When they get the ball in their hand, they're elusive. They can make, players miss. He has that ability to get yards after the catch. He's a totally different threat, in my opinion, at that point. But dialing it back, the reason why I made those comments is not that he's being mismanaged or that he's not doing something right on his end, as much as me saying, hey, I've been in this position. When a person wants to give advice and you want to throw something in there, it's not sitting on the sideline. I'm bringing this from experience. So I won't ever back down from it. I don't care who I'm talking to. I wouldn't back down from it. But I'm telling you, you got to let the players touch the ball. You got to, the bubble screens and all that, that's cool. That's still kind of a high intensity kind of route because you got to get a blocker out in front of you. You got to make sure the pass is right and all this other stuff. But I'm telling you, if you get them involved, I think we'll see a different type of a player take place. I think the confidence in his hands, you're catching the ball more in your hands. You're catching the ball on the run. You're catching the ball on the move. You got some sit down routes. You got some stationary routes. These things will build confidence in any receiver. I don't care if you're a veteran who's struggling, trying to get out of a slump, or if you're a young player and you're trying to get acclimated. Those are things that's going to make it work. It is not about how many times you step on the field. It's not about how many times you get, play calls and routes and all those things. It's about how many times will you touch the ball and have an opportunity to participate in the game at the physical level, period.
And a testament to what he said there, Jahmyr Gibbs said that in an interview after his game versus the Raiders. He said, it was just me getting the amount of touches. It is getting used to the speed of the game. It's different from college. And once you get used to it, you learn it a little bit and it slows down for you. The amount of touches is very important to be on the field and to get better. So I'm with you. I think J-Mo just needs to get those touches. He'll build his confidence and he'll get a little bit better. Sunday, we got a big game. We're traveling to LA to face the Chargers, the 4-4 Chargers, and the Lions are trying to get to 7-2. When you look at this matchup, Detroit Lions in the LA Chargers, what is something that you want to see in this game besides winning, and what is the challenges looking forward for the Lions in this game?
West Coast games are always difficult. When I played, whether it's out in San Francisco, whether it's playing out in LA, there's a different vibe that comes with that. And a lot of people don't think that jet lag and all that traveling, even if you leave a little bit early and you go out to the West Coast, it makes a difference. But there's something there. I mean, it takes like an extra day for you to get going. So always good to see that they make that and they take that into consideration. When you're playing out on the road, even though this is outside of the division, it's an important game. This is a team that is looking for, they have a great position right now in the playoff run, in a playoff picture. Yeah, it's too early to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about it. Don't care if you like it or not. They are in a position to where they don't want to give anything back. There are teams within the division, in the North Division, NFC North, that are gaining momentum, and they're playing a little bit better, like whether it be Minnesota. We see Green Bay picking it up a little bit. So these are teams that are gaining a little bit of ground in terms of their confidence. So the Lions got to keep their momentum going. They got to keep their positivity and their let's call it ego, let's call it swag, let's call it whatever. They got to keep that going. When they're playing out there, there's a team that's going to be hungry. Home field advantage is always big on the West Coast. So the Lions can't commit turnovers. Everyone says that, but I don't think they really understand what that means. That changes the dynamics of the game, and it sets teams back even more on the road than when they're playing at home, and you feel like you can overcome pretty much anything, even deficits being down by 2 scores, 3 scores. It's not the same on the road when you make those same mistakes. They are magnified. The other thing I see offensively, this is a team that is really started to live and breathe by that. The defense seems to play off of that. We've seen the defense start to play a little bit better for the Lions. But where I see them really gaining it is when they see the offenses in click. You look at the Baltimore game when the Ravens took advantage of the defense and the offense can't answer that bell, then all of a sudden it just continues to mount. So I think there's got to be a good balance. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this offense to continue to move the ball, to score, to get field position. To the defensive side, Mike, if you look at the Chargers, they have a really good defensive front. Their defensive front can handle it. Are they in the top 10? Probably not, but are they right there somewhere? I think, in my opinion, right at the cusp of being in that top 10. Yeah, they got a pretty good defensive line. But then you get to the secondaries where they're vulnerable, and where the Lions really excel in the passing game. And their passing game has been sharp. It's been damn near precision. So I look for them to really take advantage of a weak secondary, be able to get some of those crossing routes. And this may be the game where you see them take some shots downfield. I see them, if the pressure doesn't get there from the defensive front, I would expect the fact that they're going to be looking to get the ball down the field, take advantage of some of those routes that we've seen with the tight end on the backside. I think that's going to be there on the play action or the backside peel. So that in the delay route by the tight end. So this could be a really good game for the Lions, but they still got to contend with the Chargers offense, which still has some weapons. They had a really good quarterback in Herbert, and they got weapons on the outside that can still make big plays.
Yeah, big time game. They definitely got a good offense over there, and they can get rolling for sure. But the Lions need to win this game to, like you said, to keep the momentum up, keep Vikings at bay. Do you think that the Detroit Lions going to win this game?
I think the Lions will win this game because I just really, and I say this not with, a guess. This isn't a guess. It's just because they just don't make the mistakes that teams that are in this position, teams that are young, and all of a sudden they found this new winning way. And you say, well, they've gotten away because, people haven't capitalized on their mistakes. Well, they haven't made a lot of mistakes. They've created turnovers. They came out of the gate being a defense that could create turnovers. Offensively, they protected the football. There hasn't been a lot of interceptions by Goff. There hasn't been a lot of fumbles by the running backs or the ball carriers. And if you look at the offensive penalties, they've started to get plagued with a few of those. We've seen that happen in the last few games. But prior to that, this hasn't been a team that has really hurt themselves that much. And even the play calling, I think, has been not necessarily conservative, but it's been on par. It's been on point. I think it's been very situational. So everything's clicking on all fronts the right way. The only place I see that we want to be careful is field position and also special teams. In a game like this, that's where it could turn out. The field goals, if they're there, you got to take them. And if they're not, I don't think you take unnecessary risks and you punt and play defense, or you take the points if points are there to be put on the board.
There you go, folks. Herman Moore wants us to get a win. He thinks he's going to get a win. That's exactly it. Why should folks subscribe to Lions Nation Unite?
Well, one, because they get to hear your great voice. And then second, I get to come on and be your sidekick. You got Batman and Robin come in, LNU. We are catching fire. Things are going really well. Mike is holding it down. You guys are the greatest fans there are, and you are most loyal. So we'll continue to take the growth that we're getting. Come check us out. Continue to follow us. Continue to like us across what we do. And don't forget, got to get you one of these. Come on now. Got to get you one of these bad boys. Come on.
Got to get one of those bad boys.
All right, chill. Oh.
Hey, he's falling asleep. Live recording, folks. He's falling asleep. That's how you know it's good. With that said, folks, peace.